Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for peace. Yes, this August, the Civic Coach is promoting the Mayors for Peace programme. I've written an article about it, and what I want to do today is explain to you the 2020 vision, which is at the heart of the Mayors for Peace programme. So the 2020 vision is a campaign aimed at ending nuclear weapons. So that's the getting rid of nuclear weapons completely by the year 2020. Which is 2.5 years' time, so we'd better get a move on. So, as somebody who grew up during the Cold War, that initially strikes me as a terrible idea. We need nuclear weapons. They provide us with safety and security, don't they? That's what I used to think, but I've been thinking about this for a while. I joined the Mayors for Peace initiative in 2011. And since then, I've been thinking about this an awful lot. And there are a couple of points that they make in the Mayors for Peace initiative that really strike home to me. So I don't know whether you've given it much thought, but at this moment in time, there are thousands of nuclear weapons that are primed and ready to be launched straight away. And that means across the world, there are nuclear weapons that can be launched at the touch of a button. Ladies and gentlemen, that is insanity. That is absolutely crazy. There is no reason why America needs to be pointing hundreds of nuclear weapons at Russia and Russia needs to be pointing hundreds of nuclear weapons at America. It's just a recipe for disaster. It's just the slip of a finger and then it all goes horribly wrong. So the first point of the 2020 programme, immediate cessation of red alert nuclear weapons that can be launched in an instant, makes a lot of sense. It's just crazy. They don't need to have instant nuclear weapons. And in fact, if you look at this country, so we have the Trident program, we have a submarine that is always at sea, that is always ready to launch a nuclear weapon. How has that helped us? It didn't help us with 7/7. It didn't help us with the Manchester Arena bombing. Because what is threatening us is a bunch of people who are not scared of nuclear weapons because you can't bomb terrorist cells. You can't use nuclear weapons against the threat we're facing. They are out of date. They are not relevant. They haven't helped us. Yet we are spending money to keep our instant nuclear weapons available. So I think the first part of the 2020 programme, it's difficult to argue with. We need to get a global agreement to stand down all of the nuclear weapons that exist. And then the second part of the agreement, I really don't think it's hard to go with. It is a good idea to get people around the table, to get countries around the table to start discussing it again, to start discussing reduction in nuclear weapons. That just makes sense. It's off the political agenda, but it needs to be back on it now. We need to be reducing the amount of nuclear weapons in the world. It's just plain crazy. And then finally, the main aim of the 2020 programme is to have all nuclear weapons in the world destroyed by 2020. That's 2.5 years. That's not a long time. We've got to start doing something about it, and we've got to start doing something about it now. Now, of course, if you pay any attention to the news, you might currently be thinking, Duncan, you're an idiot. We need nuclear weapons. Look at the threat posed to us by North Korea. How could we possibly disarm now? It would be insanity. Well, let me just give you one statistic. So every year, America spends $20 billion maintaining its nuclear arsenal. It's $20 billion maintaining its nuclear arsenal. That's a lot of money. If it spent that money on international development, do you think we'd have as many problems with countries like North Korea? Because I don't think we would. I think if we spent all of the money that all of these countries use to keep their nuclear deterrent on actually helping other countries, then the world would be a much better place. It wouldn't just be a more peaceful place, it would be a more prosperous place. It would be a better place to live. It would be better for all of us. And actually, international development is the only way to tackle things like terrorism. Nuclear weapon does not help with the threat that we have. International development does. So that's a little bit about the 2020 programme. Like I say, we haven't got long, 2.5 years. We've got to do something about it. We've got to get moving. And that's why the time is now. That's why the time is right for peace. It's why we need as many mayors as possible throughout this country to join the Mayors for Peace initiative. So put some information down there about how you can join. I'll put a link to an article I wrote earlier this week explaining the whole Mayors for Peace process, but I just wanted to come on and speak a little bit about the 2020 vision, because it's something that's quite contentious and probably something that you haven't thought about because it's just not on the agenda. But if we get our communities talking about peace, if we get our councils talking about peace, if we get people talking about peace, we can put it back on the agenda. We can make a difference. We can take all of that money and use it to make a better world rather than fund an insanely dangerous nuclear deterrent. My name's Duncan Bassbrown Brown. I'm the Civic Coach. Thank you very much.